We've all heard of Wu Zetian, the one and only female emperor of China. Not empress consort, not regent pulling strings behind the curtain. She sat on the dragon throne herself, renamed the dynasty, and ruled outright. For centuries, she's been painted as the villainess of Chinese history, the seductress who clawed her way to power through sex, murder, and manipulation. And you know why? Because she was a woman who ruled in a culture that believed women should obey their fathers, husbands, and sons. Wu Zetian shattered the script. Male historians, Confucian scholars who couldn't even imagine a woman in charge, made sure her legacy dripped with scandal. Now, was she really ruthless? Absolutely. But was she more ruthless than male emperors who killed brothers, sons, and rivals by the dozens? Not really. The difference was gender. And yet, Wu's own life gives fuel to both sides. On one hand, she was a reformer, raising the status of women, promoting merit over birth, and strengthening the empire. On the other, the palace gossip was bloody and juicy, and sometimes terrifyingly real. And here's where the story takes a golden twist. Archaeologists found a tablet, not jade, not stone, but made of pure gold, buried on Mount Song, one of China's sacred peaks linked directly to heaven. And here's the kicker. Reaching Mount Song wasn't just a scenic hike. It was grueling terrain, back-breaking climbs, and a logistical nightmare. To get there, you needed manpower, money, and an emperor's authority to marshal it all. Only a handful of rulers in China's history ever dared stage their grand rituals there. And Wu Zetian, she didn't just dare, she did it. The only woman to perform imperial rites on Mount Song. That fact alone was scandalous. But then came the drama. She left behind a Jin Jian, a confession tablet forged from pure gold, inscribed with 63 characters begging heaven to erase her sins from the celestial record. Picture it, the most powerful woman in China, standing on a sacred mountain where few emperors had set foot, asking the gods themselves to delete her guilt. That's not just religion, that's pure theater. The inscription itself reads, Emperor Wu Zhao of the Great Zhou, desiring immortality, entrusted an envoy to deliver this gold strip at the heavenly gate on Mount Song, entreating the 3 offices and 9 bureaus to absolve her of any wrongdoing. Not quite a tearful confession, more like filing celestial paperwork to clear her record. But here's the real question. What sins was she talking about? Some point to the rumor that she smothered her own infant daughter to frame Empress Wang, forcing her rival off the throne. Others recall what came next. Both Wang and consort Xiao accused of witchcraft, stripped of rank, and imprisoned. Emperor Gaozong supposedly wanted to spare them, but Wu Zetian had other plans. The stories say she ordered them tortured with the so-called drunken bones execution, limbs hacked off, wine poured down their throats, bodies tossed into a great urn to die slowly in agony. And consort Xiao? Legend says she cursed Wu with her last breath. In the next life, she'd be reborn as a cat and Wu Zetian as a mouse, so she could torment her forever. Spooked or enraged, Zetian allegedly ordered every cat in the palace killed. Talk about guilt leaving paw prints. And that was just one chapter. She created the office of cruel officials to root out and execute opponents. Ministers, rivals, even her own kin. If they stood in her way, they vanished. So when she left a golden confession begging heaven to strike her sins from the cosmic ledger, you can't help but wonder, was it simply the sin of being a woman who dared to rule, the ultimate crime in Confucian eyes? Or was it the blood on her hands, the purges, the executions, the name and shame of the 4 clans, the curses that still echo? That's the mystery the tablet throws back at us. Because here's the gag, you can't erase sins with gold. Wu Zetian's confession shines like her reign, dazzling, scandalous, unforgettable. She may have begged heaven to delete her guilt, but history kept the receipts. Tyrant, yes. Feminist icon, yes. The truth is messy, the rumors are juicy, and the gold tablet? Pure drama. She died just 5 years after leaving that golden plea and was buried beside her husband, Emperor Gaozong, in the massive Qianling Mausoleum. But here's the twist. Her burial site features a giant stone stele with no inscription, a total anomaly in Chinese history. Every other emperor had their achievements carved in glowing detail. Wu Zetian's? Blank. Some say it was punishment, erasing the praise reserved for men. Others believe it was her own choice, daring history itself to write her verdict. Either way, she forced the world to wonder if her greatest crime was ambition or simply being female. Wu Zetian stamped herself into history in blood, in gold, and in legend, and no blank stone will ever erase that.